boy. Listen, I get how everybody nowadays, they want the new fancy shit, they want the new car, they want all the nice stuff. Fine. I'm usually anti new shit right now, especially with cars, because you just gotta, they're just not in a good place. I wouldn't buy one. Again, I have my Ford Ranger, biggest mistake I fucking made in my life. What a money suck, and for what I'm getting out of it, it's not worth it. I get a lot of people, like actually a lot, asking, I want to buy a new car. What do you recommend? My honest answer, nothing. Don't buy one. Right now, it is not worth it. It's not worth it financially for you, the long-term reliability of the car. It's not just worth it at all. New cars are just so fucking overrated. It's not like back in the day, like in the 50s and 60s and 70s, where like every 3 years they changed the design a little bit and like kind of, get you to buy the next model. It's like the models nowadays are changing, but they're not, first of all, they're not getting any better. I don't think they look better. That might be a personal preference, but I don't think there's anything different about them that you should justify spending like another 30 grand on top of, like, for a lease or something like that. Like, you know what I mean? This whole like fucking rinse and repeat shit of like leasing stuff. We gotta, here in fucking America, we gotta pull back a little bit. Why do we fucking make everything so expendable? Like, we're treating everything like it's a fucking tool. Like, and not a good tool. Like, not a tool that you can keep in your toolbox for like 30 years and then pick it up again and it still works the same way. No, it's like a fucking, like a plastic fork. It's like you eat with it once and you throw it out, because over time it'll just degrade and fucking the plastic, you know what I'm trying to say? Yeah, like this whole consumer mentality, we got to stop, because we're just consuming ourselves to death, and nobody can stay not stimulated for more than 5 seconds because of it. And they're fucking on every goddamn fucking app on the planet to try and keep their dopamine levels hitting. And that's exactly what the consequence of the modern day car market is marketing to. People like that. Let's break it down with the basics. First of all, if you aren't familiar, which you should be, car salesmen are just thieves, like actual straight up. Like, we already know this. It doesn't matter if you're a used car salesman or a new car salesman. I'm not going to name names, obviously, because I can't. But I know car salesmen that fucking come trotting down, from their new sale, and they go, I just fucking milked those old people, dude. I fucking put a 30 grand markup on that car. And he goes, oh, I fucking left him out to dry. Fuck him. Oh, it felt so good. And like full blown, like, yeah, like just fucking, stole from someone on purpose. Straight up. Like, people think they're getting a deal. They it's the usual tactic. It's, I'm gonna write this car up for 45,000, but I won't. I'm not gonna. I'll leave it at that price for you. I'll leave it there. I'm not gonna mark it up. Meanwhile, the car's actually 30 grand. You know what I mean? So it's like, what was it? It was a Supra. And if you're watching the video and you're that guy, fuck you. Because if I know you, yeah, fuck you. If there was the guy, he had a 20, I don't know, it was like a 2023 Supra or something. It was like 80 grand. Fucking marked it up for $130,000. And he sold it to a guy. And he was fucking so happy. Guy's saving up his whole life savings, right? To buy something he wants to enjoy. And you fucked him. And he doesn't even know. It's like, well, the guy's probably a little, naive to that fact. Or maybe he just said, fuck it, they're going to rinse me. But it's all right. I don't know. It's still not right in practice. So you got to watch out for these salesmen, first of all, because 99.9% of them are full of shit. Because in order to make money in a business like this, you need to lie. So that's kind of the name of the game. They'll walk you around. They'll be like, first of all, half of them don't even fucking know any of the features or anything. They kind of just sit you down in the car and, wait for you to sign your life away. Like, what do we got? I drove a 2024 Tacoma. The engine that was in the previous generation, the 2GR V6, there was nothing wrong with it. It was fine. And yet, they changed it again to a 4-cylinder turbo. And I'm going to be honest, it was the slowest piece of shit. It had no power whatsoever. Like, you're not pulling anything. There's no way you can pull something with it. And even if you do, it's like, what the fuck is the longevity here? This poor 4-cylinders getting butt fucked because it doesn't have the balls. It's getting air force through it with the turbo constantly to just get momentum going. Like, we're pushing our engineering to the limits here. Whereas instead of just making the more cheaper, affordable option. And first of all, why are they like 50 grand for a Tacoma? There's tablets in the middle of them the size of my laptop screen that I got in front of me right now. It's just like, it's a fucking pickup truck, dude. Nobody asked for this. And if you did ask for it, why? Because you can get any car at all. You can get any old car. You can go to fucking Walmart and get your Apple CarPlay in and put it inside your car. You can get heated seats installed. Anything that modern cars have to offer. Here's a little secret, right? Ready? Anything that modern day cars have to offer, you can get installed on your old car way cheaper than it would ever be if you bought a brand new one. Well, you want to keep up with the Joneses, right? That old saying. Okay. I don't think it's worth it. Especially if you're, low middle class, even higher middle class. I just don't think that your pros are outweighing the cons. You could fully rebuild your car and your old car, and then you'd still be saving money over buying a brand new one. The only situation where I could see anybody wanting to buy something brand new that I could logically justify is if it's like a collectible or maybe it's like a fleet, or maybe it is a one-time purchase and you'll never buy a new one ever again, because you want to be able to have the service history and all that shit, and it's yours forever. It's like, okay, then the used car market comes around, fine. It's like, we all need it. It's like, I'm not even bashing it. But like, the used car market depends on new cars, right? Because eventually new cars become old cars. The used car market's going to get fucked in like 10 years, maybe 15. It depends. Because these cars, the new ones, when they get left in people's driveways for 2-3 years, they're not going to start up. Like, you're not just going to be able to throw a battery in it, put some gas in it, and it'll run. They're just going to be bricked, and they're going to be dead, and there's nothing we can do about it. The used cars are going to get pushed out, and this time it's going to be permanently. The only remedy is if, like, we're going to do what fucking Cuba does and start taking new cars and shit and start putting old engines in them. Because honestly, that's the kind of the direction that I see us going over 10, 15 years. Mind you, I don't give a fuck. because everyone's going to do whatever the fuck they want anyway. I'm trying to keep more of my mentality to the common, more everyday person and the people that matter the most to me, because I feel like they get fucked the most. So they mean more to me. Okay, now that I'm off that spiel, what do we got? So you want to buy a new car. It's like, all right, sure. Let's see what you want. Chevy, well, you can cross that off the list, because all the eco tech and all the fucking bullshit that they're doing sucks. Ford, I think I got a little lucky by accident. The Rangers are used as fleet vehicles. They take a little bit more care when making them for longevity purposes, because they use them on a corporate-wide level, so they need to kind of work over like driving across America and shit like that. I wouldn't recommend anything else. Like I wouldn't recommend the newer F-150s, 250s, 350s. Maybe a stripped down bare bones version, the cheapest one you can buy. If you can buy just a bare body with if you're going to buy a new car, buy it with the least amount of technology possible. Like I'm talking bare bones, no hybrid systems, no Apple CarPlay units, no big screens or heated seats, electric seats, just sliders. I'm talking like full on bare bones, engine, transmission. You got a blower motor, and that's it. And you got knobs and switches. That's all you should ever need, ever. And if that's like 90% of it. Like this is going to be a short video. That's like 90%. If you can find that, then you're good. But it pains me to say it. It's like some people who are watching these videos, they want the luxuries. Okay, that's fine. But there will be negative consequences to that. There are no, unless you're fucking loaded, right? And you have a ton of money, there are zero benefits to the luxuries that these cars have to offer you. Zero luxuries. You can have all the heated seats you want in the cooler, in the center console, and the in your McDonald's microwave warmer, in your glove box that they're probably going to install in your car now. You can have all those luxuries, but it's not worth the money, and you're going to give yourself a headache. That's not even like an if scenario. It's like, yeah, you will. Because when something happens, it's going to happen. And then you're going to be paying out your ass. Unless you're the type of person where you're low middle class and you keep recycling the car every 3 or 4 years for your lease. And then you keep financially putting yourself in the hole. And you're just like, well, I don't know why I'm always just so poor and I don't have any money. Yeah, like if you're that person, it's like, I can't fucking help you. Just keep scrolling. This video isn't for you, Be frugal. I think that people nowadays just really aren't that frugal with their money. Even when they lose it all over and over and over again, people just refuse to learn that lesson. So they keep fucking themselves and buying the newest and latest shit. And it's like, in reality, I don't have anything wrong with new things. It's just the premise behind them. Like, we don't appreciate shit. So if you're going to go out there and you're going to go buy a new thing, you better make sure that that's the damn one you want. And if it isn't and you own it now, you better change your style and your taste and what you like. Because, only so many options are going to be given to you here until you financially ruin yourself. I'm just looking out for people. So if people have a problem with that, fine. Because I get all the fucking assholes in the comments section especially on that modern truck video, saying on how they jerk off to, all the new trucks that are being produced nowadays with, 30-foot beds, with, an 8-row, that has a twin turbo V6, with Apple ass play, and you have a fucking built-in, I don't know, indoor racetrack in it, and it has a slushy maker in it, and they're fucking getting mad at me saying, no, this is what I asked for. It's like, yeah, well, no offense, if you have the money, that's fine. As it turns out, a lot of people don't. And the problem is they're all catering to you because you guys have all the fucking money. Why can't they make a $20,000 fucking pickup? Bare bones, cheap, no ABS. Well, they did, but it's not coming to America. Of course it's not. Why not? They don't want that here. They're trying to make it obsolete. It was a $20,000 something Toyota. Yeah, it was optional ABS. Imagine that. Imagine the safety standard. Like, that doesn't pass our safety. Imagine a fucking car where you can buy it for 20 grand and it has all the fucking basic options of just a normal car. Like, crank windows. Where are you finding that nowadays? Y'all aren't. If that was in the country, I'd say everybody buy one. It's like almost like the Model T of modern day society. There's nothing fucking wrong with it. People's taste changed. People love new shiny shit. I love new shiny shit. Within certain means. Us fucking Americans, we love fucking over fucking doing it. We love it. And it's like, well, where'd all of our money go? It's like, where the fuck do you think? What do you think? Everyone, it's the same problem every 30 years, every 20, 30 years. We're all in the same fucking boat. Like, it's the same. Well, the inflation, the middle class is getting pushed out. It's like, yeah, we are. How have we not learned by now? Families, making family accounts for each other, surviving together, working together to save money. We should be beyond this by now, but we don't. We never learn. I don't know what I'm ranting about anymore. Oh, boy. Listen, you want to buy a new car? You got to look at things like, what's the maintenance going to look like on it? It's not going to be cheap on no matter what new car you buy. It's never going to. No matter what new car you buy, it's never, ever, ever going to be cheap. Unless you're under some type of warranty. And even if it's under a warranty, it's like, yeah, I see the Tundra bodies getting lifted off Tundra frames to have new engines put in them because they keep blowing up. Like, you want your entire vehicle to be ripped apart with 5,000 miles on it and then just to be thrown back together by some mechanic that you just spent $65,000 on? 70 grand? It's like, I want to make this video to like, well, here's, if you want to buy a new car, this is what you need to do. But it's like, I'm fully against it. There's really no justifying anything. Like, they're all-wheel drive now, right? Like, that's the new thing. Like, every type, even economy shit, it's like all-wheel drive hybrid. Like, it's all the same. I'm changing tires on cars every, like, 25,000 miles. Whether that's the poor construction of the tires that they're putting on the cars from the factory, or that's just, like, the fact that the weight of the cars of an economy car is, like, 8,000 pounds. So, like, we're not winning. Buy whatever car is being used as a fleet vehicle, is probably, like, and I'm talking like widespread corporate fleet vehicles. If you want to look to buy a new car, buy exactly what they're buying, because they're going to take more care after the thing that kind of makes the country run around. So buy something like that. Of course, I'm going to say I recommend Toyota the most. even though they suck now. Everything's catching on fire and blowing up and electrical issues and recalls up the fucking ass. Oh, boy. Like, what else do we got? Hyundai? I've been seeing the shit that's coming off of Hyundai's assembly line, too. And it's like, you know, everything's all futuristic. And stainless steel panels. I don't know. It doesn't look that great to me. Engines are blowing up left and right. No one can make a decent car anymore. One day, I would love to mass produce a simple, basic car, but I could never because the legal laws that that bound our Western society don't want that. They don't want the modern. Let me call it this: the modern day Model T doesn't exist. You're not going to be able to get just black in the basic bare bones of every car, of every model, and like the same thing, you know, as simple as it can be. You're not, like, that's never going to happen ever again in this country. Your best bet is to buy niche, older vehicles. That's what I see. You got to buy older things, like go out and buy, you know, stay away from Nissans. You're going to end up putting transmissions in it. Stay away from Kias. Their motors blow up. Stay away from Chevys. The old, you know, maybe like an older, I don't know, I'd say like Fiesta, but even those, like, yeah, do a set of rear wheel bearings on a Fiesta or a Focus. You're going to have so much fun. Like, I don't know, make sure it's not rotted, you know, buy an older car instead and just restore it. You could buy an older car and like write down what you want in a car, right? I want it to be reliable. I want it to look sporty. I want it to do this, that, and the other. And it's like, okay, well, I may as well just buy a new car. It's like, well, you don't have to. Like, go buy a like little, like, of course, I'm going to be biased. I'm going to say my fucking opinion. You know, go buy a Toyota Corolla Sport, right? It's got the nice lips on it. It's got the fender, you know, flares and shit and all that's like the body kit. A little sporty, right? You want to go spend like, if you're going to justify spending 50 grand on a car, go buy a Corolla for $5, right? It's got the nice little kit on it, nice little spoiler. You know, you want it to be a little sporty. Look up like exhaust systems, have a professional install it. Get it a new paint job, freshen it up, put a like nice set of, you know, grippy tires like on a performance car, you know. Get suspension on it installed professionally. Make sure it's not rotted. Like, it doesn't have to be fast, but it's like you want a sporty car. It's like, all right, you want heated seats? Well, you can get that installed. I bet you can get all that done for like 10 grand. It's like, all right, so you just put 10 grand in a $5,000 car that's going to last you your entire life, and it's a great car. Or you can spend $50,000 on a car that's going to get you 3 or 4 years, and then it's going to shit the bed on you. And then the prices are going to be so astronomical in order to repair them that it's just going to be sitting there while you're still making payments on it while it's in your driveway for 4 years. I'll give you an example. A buddy of mine's red Honda Accord, it's a 2019 Earth Dreams motor, sat for 2 years, put a battery in it. It fired up, but it ran terrible, and it was like always stuck in limp mode. We're like, oh, it's got bad gas in it. We should have flushed the tank. You know, 2-year-old gas. It should have ran. I mean, 2-year-old gas, like the octane is like low. It starts to degrade after like 6 months. It still should have ran somewhat decently on 2-year-old gas, just a very low octane. It might burn. It might be a little rough, maybe probably to cause some misfires, but not enough to fuck up the whole car, you know? So it was throwing codes for high pressure fuel pump. It was throwing codes for injectors. We put a fresh tank of gas in it. That didn't fix the problem. Changed the pump. That didn't fix it. Injectors. That didn't fix it. Thought maybe the cat was clogged. just unbolted the cat to see if it would run. It's right off the manifold. It's right off the front of the engine. So we just unbolted it a little to see if maybe it was clogged. O2 sensor. Nothing fixed this fucking thing. It always ran like shit. And it just was done. It was just, you know, put a new motor in it. 2 years, put a new motor in it. Because that's the only solution. Nothing. It wasn't even misfiring. It just didn't, like, maybe fucking the bad gas, like, I don't know, a valve or something. I don't know. Something happened and it just stopped working. And the reality is like, it was like $6,000 worth of repairs that didn't even fix the fucking car. And you can say, well, that's, you know, bad practice on the mechanic's part. It's like they were making payments on it still. And they just considering, you know, crash throwing it into a wall to collect insurance and fucking call it a day. You know, it's just, it's not gonna, it was just dead. Like there's, like, I'm looking under the hood of some of these newer cars and like all the shit that gets run over the engine. I know what I'm looking at. I don't want to know what I'm looking at because it's a mess. The way that engine bays are now in order to make repairs, it's an absolute mess. There's fucking hoses and wires and intercoolers and everything thrown on top of the engine like, poof. You don't want to deal with these headaches, man. You want to buy a newer car, fine. You know, just people they're gonna scam you, first of all. You know, look for something that actually wait a couple years. Like, the problem is that everyone wants the new thing now. If you want a new car, see what happens after their first batch, right? The first 3 or 4 years, let them run their course through all these people who just buy them. And then you'll know, and then all the TSBs will be out and the recalls and everything. Let them fuck up first and see what all the problems are. Then once they're 3 or 4 years old, they're still newer. You can buy one secondhand for like half the price if you don't get fucked. And now you can actually do research to see what the problems are and where the weak points are and how everything is, you know, panning out with these cars. Then you can accurately make a better decision on what type of car you want to buy. I highly recommend buying it brand new because you don't know what's going to happen yet. They haven't been proven. It's not proven technology, and it shows. You know, everyone who's buying a new car now is pissed, and the used car market's starting to change now, and everyone's starting to buy a used car. But just not the right used cars, if I were to say that. But it's coming soon where there's going to be a big influx of people buying used cars over new. So just take my advice before you buy a used car, a new used car. Before you buy a new car, just take my opinion with a grain of salt and have a fucking nice fucking day. I gotta stop swearing. It's impossible because I was raised in Rhode Island. So thank you.